had a canned. I had for this maintenance preventative versus normal, or normal versus preventative maintenance. And I figured, well, I drove a load of hay today, so I just don't have time to get it uploaded. And now I had to take a nap when I got back. I got hurt pretty bad when I crashed that sled. It's just stupid. I didn't crash the sled. I fell off the damn thing and twisted my kneecap, twisted my knee, actually hyperextended it. And no helmet would ever help that. So anyway, I figured I'd do this live. And I've been accused of being biased against all other manufacturers of hay balers and things like that. I'm going to tell you that's not the case. When you've run the other brands and you know people that have run the other brands and you've seen the other brands being run, and you settle on a brand like New Holland, you have to be happy with it, whether you're happy with it or not, because you own it at that point. Okay? It may or may not exceed your expectations. And the same thing with a Krone. I went to Agco, Heston, Massey Ferguson by Heston, looked at those. I actually spoke to people. I know several Heston Massey Ferguson owners. Very reliable baler, don't get me wrong on that, but the longevity of it just wasn't where. Um, did fix the driveway, yes. The longevity of it just wasn't there. I think that those balers are very similar to the New Holland, that when you reach a certain amount, they just collapse. And every baler is like that. But I wanted a baler company that got the farthest before the collapse, and that's again why I settled with the Krone balers. Uh, Demonstrated at John Deere. Probably would have bought a John Deere 340 L340. Glad I didn't, because I know people that own them. Not including Eric Moser. He's very happy with his, but I don't think he does the throughput that most of the other guys that I do talk to that own the 340. Now, the L341 would probably be a better fit than the L340. The reason I did not go with the John Deere wasn't that its capacity was anything terrible. Just it didn't have the capacity of the Krone, obviously, but it wasn't a high density baler. But the pickup width was too narrow, and that's why I didn't go with it. So that just kind of did that one. So as far as the biases between the baler manufacturers, I was a New Holland owner for 5 different models: the 2000, the BB 960, 960A, 8090, 340 regular, and a 340 crop cutter. I had 6 of those damn things. And in those, the one I had the longest, I actually put the least amount of bales through. In 7 years' time, I only had put like 20,000 bales through the thing. And about 20,000 bales through the thing. So, yeah, I do know how to talk. I mean, if you don't know that by now, and if you don't like the way I talk, you can go fuck off. I don't care. That's the amazing thing. This is Ag Talk in the Raw. It actually states that in the title of my channel, Ag Talk, meaning this is a talking channel where I talk about stuff. John Deere actually went to the wider pickup, and yeah, the John Deere pickup, it's a Kuhn. Let's just all get this squared away now. John Deere said that they changed 80% of that baler. Well, that may be true, because when you take the tin work off and the boxes and everything else, that is a very large portion of the baler. But the main frame and everything else are Kuhn, Kuhn, Kuhn. It's a French company. I own Kuhn equipment. I've owned Kuhn tedders. I prefer the Kuhn tedder over any other tedder that I've ever used or owned. I've owned 2 of them. The first one was too small for what I do. The second one I still own, and it's worn out. I need a new one. I just haven't really decided whether I want to completely refurbish the one I've got, or go ahead and drop 20 grand on a new one. And that's where it would be for me to get one like that. But anyway, as far as the New Holland being a cheaper option to bale the number of bales that I bale through. That is just not the case. I know this one fella, what the heck, Hay King, something Hay King, FCH Hay King, I think was his name. He was talking about his New Holland 340 Plus baler, which was the model after the 340 crop cutter model that I have. They come in crop cutter and standard. It's supposed to be their semi high density baler. And when I say semi high density, I mean it's like this intermediate baler. Hey, it's basically the same baler as what I had. The pickup header is the same. The things that I would have changed on the pickup header on the 340 and I was gearing up to change, they never did change. It's still a cluster fuck. So if you're owning a crop cutter model on that pickup, it is going to cost you every week about $250 in chain. And that's just a fact. I put 20, what did I put on that bale? That crop cutter 340, I think I put 21 or 22,000 bales through it in the 2 years that I had it. 21 or 22,000 bales. They were only about 1,190 pounds is what I think was the average of those bales. My Krone baler, I can easily punch out 1,450 pound bales. Doesn't matter if it's bone ass dry. I just set it and forget it like a Ronco grill. The the difference in the maintenance programs is, like I'm telling you, is God, it's hot in this truck. The maintenance on the maintenance on the baler that I've got, uh, the things that I have to do to it and the things that I did to it are two very, very different things. And I think that's where it gets kind of hokey for this FCH Hay King. Uh, I bought a lot of spare parts. Probably of that $15,000 bill, that $15,000 parts bill, I think it's $15,400. That $15,400 parts bill, approximately 1/3 of it was parts that I are just to put on the shelf in case I need them. A rotor, $1,600. Things like that. Just that stuff. It just gets very expensive to stock parts, but it's more expensive if you're broke down with these parts and you have no way, you got to wait 2 days or 3 days to get the parts. So it gets very, very expensive sitting on your thumbs waiting for parts to show up, when if you've got them on the shelf, you're basically go pull them out of the tool truck and pull them out of the tool truck and go for broke. Get it done. Get her done. And Timothy's coming up here, so let me get after him real quick. You going to lunch? Yeah. It fucking hurts. You think that's funny? Look at that, he's laughing at me. He's like, it's his fault. I wouldn't have chased. Yours. Oh, what did you do to me before we crashed? I shut your power off. He shut the engine off, and that's why I cussed at him. So anyways, yeah, he's a smart ass. Don't get lost. Anyway, as far as the parts are concerned, now we go into normal maintenance parts. Normal maintenance parts on that baler would be pickup tines, possibly knotter tongues, the bill hook tongues, and what the hell else would there be on there? Pickup, yeah, just stupid things like that, little stuff. Probably between the two balers, only 1/3 of that are parts that absolutely needed to be replaced. Okay, so we've got a third of parts that are on the shelf, a third of the parts that actually needed to be on there, and a third of the parts that I replaced because the life expectancy of the parts, that the wear parts, like in the VFS, those roller bearings that are in there, they will expire. The life expectancy of those particular parts would expire about towards the end of my straw job. So I've got 11,000 bales on between 10 and 11,000 bales on that baler since last year. That's just a fact. It wasn't 9,000. I misquoted the numbers that I had. So just say there's 10,000 bales. The life expectancy of doing running in sandy ground and damp material is between 12 and 15,000 bales. I will bale somewhere between 6 and 8,000 bales per baler next year, this coming in 2021 on those balers. Well, now I'm over the hump and I'm sweating bullets. Are these things going to break apart on me in this before I get done and screw me up? Because the last week of baling straw is the most hectic week because a lot of guys are hammering at us. They're like, hey, let's go, let's get this done. So those parts will be taken off, put on the shelf as spare parts. So in case there is a failure with one of the newer bearings, the new bearings that I put on there, I will have it on the shelf. So a third of those parts are takeoff parts that will be stored on the shelf for later use if there's an issue. All right. And issues happen all the time. So that's why the expense in rebuilding these balers is higher than what most people think they should be. So the fact of the matter is, knock a third of, say, $8,000 worth of parts off, and that's what it cost me to maintain the baler. And my dad is there blocking my way. So I'm going to pull my truck up here. I'm going to pull my truck up here and I'm going to walk over to him. So I hope that's explained some to you guys, the guys that are not, too thrilled about the cost it is to maintain the balers. Flawless operation is very valuable. A lot of people don't understand that, but the fact of the matter is that flawless operation is worth probably 10 times what I got into these balers at this point. So I'm perfectly happy with it. Perfectly happy with the cost. If I was not 750 miles away from home, doing a job, let's see now, how many, 450 miles away, 7.5, 8 hours away from home, probably I wouldn't do the work that I did because, I'm in my home shop. I can do whatever I want. I can just say, all right, I'm going to run these things and that's going to be the end of it. And life will be good. No, nothing is cheap to fix anymore. Life will be good. We'll get through this whole entire thing, and hopefully we get done. But if I lose one of these VFS bearings, or if you know the transmission, the sprockets on the transmission wear to the point where I got to replace them, I can do that stuff at home. But because I'm away on a custom job, I can't do that. These things have to be reliable, almost brand new, like reliable. I mean, I'm okay with broken in reliable, but not broken down reliable. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope that explained some things to you and the nuts and bolts of the whole thing. And I can go through it more detail later. I'm just glad that everybody that showed up did. Minnesota Oliver and Deer, I still will be talking to you a little bit later. I'm waiting for contracts. But yeah, thank you.